Hello! That was a bit strong of me. Hello! Happy 427! Today is 427. Woohoo! For those who don't know, today is April 27th, aka 427. Hi, Holly Star! I'm excited. Today is 427. It's great. It's wonderful. The reason why this is known as the Stanley Parable Day is because Stanley, the character you play as, is employee number 427, and therefore 427 is an important number. So today we're going to be visiting one of my favorite games, the Stanley Parable. We're going to be playing the Ultra Deluxe version, and I made sure to reset the game beforehand because it's one of those where, eventually you get to a point where you could tell someone's played this game before. It makes sense if you know the Stanley Parable. But yeah, today we're going to just be navigating the Stanley Parable. And I will say in advance, if there are certain ways you want me to step, I will ask from time to time if you want to contribute. I know the original Stanley Parable like the back of my hand, but I'm still really excited to just go for it. And so if there's anything you want to see in particular, if you think, oh, what if you went there? If you haven't seen this before, feel free to interrupt me. Feel free to jump in. And without much further ado, we're going to swap over to the game. Which, I feel like I've hyped it up of wow, this game is amazing. This game is awesome. And then you switch over. You switch over and it looks like this. Where it's just please choose a screen and subtitle language. It's a bit okay. Not underwhelming, but it looks underwhelming as we start off. And it's not what people expect from me as oh, bright colorfuls, bright visuals, let's have some wholesome game time. Stanley Parable takes place in an office. It is very dull in color. But nonetheless, it is one of my favorites for a reason. In addition, I'm going to try my hardest to not talk over the narrator, which will be hard because the narrator talks a lot. Alrighty, so first off, we are using English subtitles. Confirm. Have you played the Stanley Parable before? I am going to answer no for now, I think. Because I want to be able to play the original Stanley Parable for a bit. Actually... No, actually, this is fine. If I played it before, then it's fine. I know how to avoid the new stuff. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Not barely visible. I'm not... I gotta admit it, if I was adjusting for myself, it'd be right about here. But... usually that isn't what I actually need in a game, so I actually adjusted to be about here. I know, weird. How's it going, Holly Star? Oh, I'm so excited. Enter the current time. Alrighty. Right now it is... oops. 7:14. I started stream a bit late. Alrighty, wait. I'm gonna wait until it's 7:15 and then hit confirm. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Become 7:15. Become 7:15. Become 7:15. Good. Playing Monster Con while watching. Awesome. Enjoy. Yeah, I heard it just came out. It's exciting. There we go. 7:15. No, accessibility settings can be accessed from the main menu. Okay. Woohoo! We are going to look at the settings before anything else. Field of view, camera sensitivity, inverting the Y, controller vibration. I am using a controller, so language, show subtitles, subtitle size. We are going to make them very large, just so they're easy to read for everyone. Show rectical. Got it. I didn't say anything other than rectal. How is that word pronounced? I'm choosing going for April this round, the clown idol. That's a reason why we were interested in it before. But like I don't know. Do I buy it just because there's a clown in it? We're gonna turn that on. We're gonna use it. Play the game Windows. Oh my goodness, Joe's favorite. I enjoy Joe. Yes, join me. Maybe. I just realized that there's a thing I could totally do at my workplace that would get me basically Steam money for games I don't play anymore. And I'm like, ooh. Text next to gameplay critical colors. Show content warnings. We're gonna turn that on. Reduce motion. I have to turn this on, unfortunately. Low dexterity mode. I think I'm good for now. Toggle auto walk. Ooh. Okay, you can walk with one hand. I already got this achievement, but there's an achievement for like going through every single setting, and like changing the thing on everything. I already did it, so we're good. I don't know too much about video, but we're gonna trust it. Simplified controls. On. I kind of like that. So basically, all the buttons are interact except that little button over there. Crouch is that trigger. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's begin the game. And now we get to hear the narrator. And let me know if the narrator's too quiet, okay? I love the narrator.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
427!
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
And Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yay! I love that intro. I always do. Okay, we're gonna step out of the office. No, I used to be really afraid.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I used to be afraid of this game quite a bit.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Not because of anything like in the okay, wait. Sorry. We're gonna have to change the camera sensitivity, I think. Okay, that's better. I think that helps. I really don't want to get motion sickness from this game. That's a thing that's happened to me as of late. With games in general. But no, if you're like looking around the Stanley Parable long enough, in the background, you can actually sometimes see another person. And that used to freak me out. That used to be the thing that made me scared the most. was this random other person you could see in this game. Okay, important question. Are we going right or left?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It'd be rude if I immediately started going to the right, right? Oh, I'm bi, I don't make decisions. I don't make decisions either. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the left first. Actually, we could get one of my favorite endings right away.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. So, the broom closet. Let me in. Let me in.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, there's something here. It's the broom closet. We have to be in the broom closet for a reason.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is, actually. So one thing...
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
It took me so long to understand what FA mean. It means fuck all, by the way. Did not know that.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Can I...
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I like listening to you talk. That's why. Oh, the phone's ringing. Ring, ring, ring.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me, because literally, this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
I love this low polygon broom. No, it's perfect, actually. Looking at it, you can see...
Maybe to you, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh,
did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite."
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Low poly broom, save me. Low poly broom. It's actually a nice model, though. I enjoy
Stanley
it.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Thanks, narrator.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Before rigor mortis sets in.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby?
I'm wearing headphones.
The person at this computer is dead.
They can't hear you.
They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Ooh,
right. When
you can see...
that, just step out into the hallway.
You can see right over here, where the like wrapping comes undone a little. Because you can see a bit of like the, I don't know what it's called, but the parts here, the brown parts that are like the individual hairs, you can see a bit of the line there, so you can see where the UV wrapping comes together. That's cool. And then like, if you look closely, this is just like a rounded rectangle. Sorry. And also, something I've now noticed is that there's like a gap here that is justified by the way the platform works here, but it also just makes it so you just slightly don't fit in this area, and I enjoy that. And it also infuriates me because I want to hide in the corner properly. Okay, without further ado, let's leave the broom closet. Now I must ask, Holly, have you ever interacted with the Stanley Parable?
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
What's this? It's a broom closet.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
You know very little. Okay. So in that case, I think the first thing I will do is actually listen to the narrator, because, spoiler, you can disobey the narrator in many different ways. One of my favorite endings is actually if you go downstairs instead of upstairs. It's called the Mariella ending. We'll get it at one point.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But, like, this game just used to be very surreal for me, and that I think that's why it scared me all the time. Like, for example, there's a bathroom over here, and it doesn't always open, but it used to scare me so much when it did because something changed. There we go, bathroom's open. To be rich. Is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Like, extreme bathrooms. The whiplash of this game. I love this little game. But yeah, this bathroom used to scare me. How do you explain that to someone? Of like, yeah, the bathroom opened and I got scared. That door opens sometimes. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
The fact that I remember the pin.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I have not played this game in months.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
The storytelling is so cool in this game. Just like the environment. Okay, we're going down. Fun fact, in the original Stanley Parable, this up button did not exist.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
If light is on, call extension 914 immediately, and the light's on. Uh-oh. Guess we gotta call 914. So we are gonna follow the narrator, but just so you know, there's another path here that reads escape in, like, marker, but also crayon. It's mostly marker. Like, yeah. But mind control facility, let's go.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
There is a really cool secret here. But it involves
Now the
waiting
monitors
for a
jumped to
bit.
life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of
I
an
might do that.
employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility.
We can
it was
find our
too
number as
horrible
well.
To believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason
right
he was
over
happy
there.
with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
And that's our office. Right there. Imagine if we could just, like, see our old cell phone screen. That'd be so fun. But yeah, there's a lot of, there's one called Pirate up there. I don't know why. There's, like, a couple that are, like, glitched out, like, over here. But, like, when it switches over, it's normal. And I'm delaying, like, going forward for a reason. There's a fired over there and a fired over there. But there's 600 employees here. The reason why I delayed is because if you wait for a bit, you can actually go backwards. And this is one of the few secrets in the Stanley Parable. This one does not affect the ending you get. But it's just like a fun little dev secret that they included where you go back to this area and you push this button again. And you get a fun little thing right now. I love it. Disco secrets. High resolution secret texture. Once you go secrets, you never go secret. I love it. I love this game.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
And I love how the narrator just never addresses it.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
And for all. I like this little red area. But yeah, this is the control room. There's a lot of buttons to press. And they make noises. I love it. Mind controls idle, awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Which means turn it off. So, because we're following the narrator, we will turn it off. That was loud. What is happening?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it over?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Let's go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I love it. I love it. I get chills from the ending there. And when you finish that, you get an achievement saying reach the end. So yeah, that's how the Stanley Parable is meant to go. Apparently, according to the narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And yeah, I know this game well enough to like be able to go along with the things he's saying. So,
when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm going to do one of my favorite endings because I think about it often. I'm going to do the Mariella ending. I will give fair warning. It does get like a bit like panicky in it. But I think it's such a good ending.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Also, the slideshow here is also always very good. Every single slide is a treat. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic of the header and throw some bevel in all the text. This will ensure a calm and productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Like, I love it. It's such a weird, like, little set of graphics. Number of slides on this slide. Charts and slides as a pie chart. Rate at which charts on the same side depict the same information. Charts, numbers, market report, rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts, please, I'm begging. Okay, so what we're gonna do to get the Mariella ending is go downstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, no, we're going down.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Just so you know, it just gestured in the top right corner, content warning, mental illness.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
the ad's
why
coming.
had he taken that risk?
Not during this
All
ending.
because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
There.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Yay, we're flying!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
This ending is so panicky, and I feel so much emotions over it.
Back. The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up.
And it's not over.
He thought to himself.
Fair warning.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
And it makes you ponder the relationship between narrator and Stanley.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yeah.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this
is the only other
day,
person we
her
really
walk
see
was
in the Stanley
interrupted by
Parable.
the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
the Mariella ending has always been a strong one in like the forefront of my mind, especially the way like Stanley feels. It's definitely an intense ending, but it's something that's very dear to me because of those intense feelings that are described. And then on top of that, like, just like, ooh, it does not feel good.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have a lot of emotions over that one. It's good. But we're not going into the new content door. The very obvious new content door. We're instead gonna
When Stanley
continue.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now, there's an ending I would love to do, but I'm going to refrain from doing it right now, because it rolls credits. So instead, I'm going to go through the door on the right for the first time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Those papers need to be cleaned up. Yeah. I keep doing it where I stare into windows and stuff, like I'm going to see the other person, but I don't want to see the other person. Like, why do I keep doing that to myself?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all.
Look at that
just to
vending
spend a few
machine.
moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
There's 3
Stanley
buttons.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking it all in like I'm staring at the vending machine full of cold drinks. For $1.25? Oh my god, I need that.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yes, very, very worth it. These 3 buttons are all the same drink.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Hey, it's not even the room, it's this vending machine.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
It's interesting because, like, the texture of specifically this vending machine is, like, different than this. Like, I can't describe it other than the noise is very loud on this vending machine. Okay, but I think that's enough of staring at the vending machine. Hey, what time is it? On the clock, it's like 11:20? Yeah. Huh. Not
But
whatever
at last,
time I
he'd
put
had
in.
enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No, I'm good.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay. Do not jump from cargo lift when it's motion. Will cause death. Let's go.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
That's
you've
really
been
cool,
neglecting,
narrator.
Stanley.
But
Someone you forgot. What? Really? I'm in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
no buckets past this point.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red door, blue door. I am not going to choose the red door right now. I'm going to go blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
That light is very loud. We're going through the blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating. Stanley walked through the red door.
The red door. It's got a bunch of arrows, but there's a blue door over here.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing.
Interesting.
Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
I like how the wall...
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay. Office Space C, Alternative Iteration 14 Alpha. I love this. Wall is the texture of the wall is 128 by 128, which is like a unusual type of... Oh, I can't go back. Oh, but I could peek through the wood here. That's cool. The ceiling light is 64 by 64. That's so cool.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Did we like the new choices? I don't know. It didn't really lead anywhere, right? Oh, and the 64 by 128. That's so cool. I'm going to say 2.
Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term.
Yeah.
It didn't cause you excruciating pain.
Correct.
Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. In total, 91,730 doors opened. I didn't get to read the rest of it. Did you know that 21.3% of players skip the intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players choose the blue door. 98. I can't read that. I am ranked last in the world, 9,328th of the players. Why not ask some friends for help? Error, friends list empty. 98.9 of players are more attractive than Stanley. That's cool. This is your superior. A dead rat is objectively ranked 9,327th. Like, they're just right above me, the dead rat. Cool. Okay, I'm done being roasted by the board.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I don't feel any, bad or good about it, because either way I want to walk through doors, before the leaderboard or after.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game. all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
True.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
That's so loud and aggressive. I can't do this for 4 hours. I can't do it. Okay, you know what? Sometimes we can't save all of them. I think we have to let this baby go. I'm done. I'm sorry.
You heartless
I'm sorry!
You do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
It was the button
because
noise.
If it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Oh.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
So, who watches the Firewatch? I believe this game is called Firewatch, right? Or Firewatcher? What's out here? Oh, because we can't jump or anything. We can't. I love this little bit of just like, let's go play someone else's game, and it just starts a different game. This is no longer...
No, it can't be.
What?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
What? No!
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any...
Yeah.
Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Poor narrator.
Woods now, Stanley.
Let's peek through the...
Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Look at that.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
This gap is slightly larger, I think.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Okay, where are we going now? I know this one, it's Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility
like I'm
that
a
you could get
hamster.
lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Yay! Ball. I think I got faster, too. Did I get lower? I did. Bam.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Yes.
Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I had a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even
Are we gonna have more
euphoric
balls?
sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Oh, I'm so ready.
Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing,
Let's
doesn't it?
go.
Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
Give me another.
More balls.
Yay. Honestly, this is really fun. You just kind of hit the balls, and I know I could hit him into the
Are you
goals.
enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun?
Yes.
Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right.
No.
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you.
No.
Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Narrator. You couldn't leave me with just one ball. The narrator took my balls. Come on. Okay. Is there any way to get out of here? Like in the goals? Ooh, there's a pit here. Let's go. Woohoo!
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh no. Well, he left us first. He took our balls. So not even a single ball. Exactly. The filing cabinet's 86 by 64. That's pretty cool. I don't want to step into the void there. But I will step into the void here. Ooh. Awesome. I miss the narrator. I'm lonely. So, fun fact about the Stanley Parable, it was actually made as a Half-Life 2 mod, I believe. I've never played that version, but it's really cool to know that these are the two doors. That's cool. It's cool to learn that a game like the Stanley Parable actually started as a mod. So we're actually going back to room 427 right now, I think. Because those were the two doors. Yep, there we go. Cool. This is a story of a man named Stanley. And then we leave. Oh. They're done.
I wonder what he found.
Nothing?
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned
miss
the
you.
heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
What a
That's
toxic
who I
love
am.
story.
That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon.
Very soon.
Very soon. I can wait.
I can wait. I'm patient. I say, moving my control sticks around. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do we have a preference for what door I go through? Because there's so many endings on either side. I think there's a couple I want to avoid still. Like the red door ending. Yeah, the red door ending is probably a no for a bit. We could go... I'm sorry, I'm thinking about, like, the ways this game work. I'm playing the Stanley Parable in my head right now, trying to, like, figure out what I haven't done. What's a decision I don't make them? I understand. Okay. So, I think we'll go right again.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
We're gonna do...
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
True.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
We're gonna do an ending I enjoy as well. This one's pretty fun.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
But wait, there's a lift here. Yeah. Down we go.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yes.
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Left.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
That's okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
That's okay.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
I love the rustling paper sound effect.
We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
So, something really cool here is, where does this door lead? Because it definitely isn't here. It's the mind control facility.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
I'm not looking.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Can you turn on the
And this
disco
time,
lights?
suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And that's it. The spoilers.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
Don't
you
look at
move the
me.
story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's go. Ooh. Could it be through here? Nope. Oh, wait. Isn't this the other side of the 6th door? Yeah, because... Yeah, okay. So we just looped around somehow. Maybe it's this way.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
I wasn't going to say it.
Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again.
But I
it's
want
gotta
to
be
see
better
it.
than this.
I want to see where we can
let's
go.
give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But I love starting again.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
No, yeah, this is just start again, prologue. This is just in Stars in Time, but just different. It does feel like a time loop. 'Cause like in a way it is, usually. Like this game is...
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
Blue?
The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind.
Oh.
Not the story.
Okay.
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Stars in Time has more colors than I remember. Oh. Uh-oh. Where are we?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
No.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing,
the door's
how about
gone.
this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work.
We worked really
and it
hard for
paid off,
this.
so, good job.
Yay!
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
I'm
Some
being
people
insulted.
win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay. Welcome to meeting one of my favorite characters from the Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable adventure line. But yeah.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Okay. So, I actually have to use the bathroom. So I'm going to leave you here to stare at this beautiful adventure line as I just quickly use the bathroom. And I'll be right back. And when I'm back, we will see where the adventure line takes us. I love adventure lines too. And trust me, this one is really special. 2 years ago, I actually did my makeup for 427 with the adventure line all over my face. That was really fun. But okay, I'll be right back. Don't time me. I'll be embarrassed. I'm back. I hope the adventure line kept you company. I realized something while I was in the bathroom, that something really funny will happen later on because of taking a break. But following the adventure line It seems like we gotta go this way. We're in a new area now. Thank you, Adventure Line.
The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
We love...
Nope. Here's a thought.
For
Wouldn't
question mark
wherever
8.
we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
We gotta follow it
I
very
think
carefully.
what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
How does that work?
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Sneef, sneef. Okay. It's a nice fern. Did they just model this and go like, we really want players to see this? We worked really hard on this. Fern. Yeah. Are you taking notes? Are you taking screenshots? Well, it's recorded anyways, right? So we can always pop back later. But what I'm thinking about is the way this freaking section worked. So let's start over here, shall we? So we go like this, like this, like this. But there was a long hallway here. And now it's gone. And then it goes all the way around. Okay, I think we're good, though. One last look at the fern. How you feeling about that fern? Give the fern a little smooch. Okay, bye, fern. Let's keep going.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Well, now we can go this way.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to look. It's
Line,
spoiler.
how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you.
We trusted the line.
Everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh, the line's still here. Okay.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't
What
we
about
make
the
up our own
fern?
story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
People keeping their monitors on is wasting electricity while they're not here. Okay, let's go.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
We're just going in
Whatever
circles.
it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Is it going to be the control room again?
Oh, no, not you again.
UTM.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I don't... Narrator, the line is my best friend. Don't be mean to the line. And there it goes through the ceiling. And it seems to have some impact because, like, it's like it pressed this part up. So it was with force.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
We have a choice.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay. Can't go through the left door anyways, so do I really have a choice here? Okay.
Oh, hold up, what's this? Confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Yes.
Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall.
Whoa.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone
I'm going to
comfort?
warn you there's a loud noise
Something
at one
happened?
point.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Honk honk. So, the confusion ending is one of my favorites. Because it is like a big pardon my language, but mind fuck. It always is. Because, like, now you have to sit here and wonder if you're still in the confusion ending, even though the timer stopped. Because the next timeline, the narrator forgets what's going on. And also that Fern was not important, which makes me a bit sad.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But to spoil the illusion a bit, you missed the Fern? Oh, no. Yeah, I get it. The Fern was our friend.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What, was 432 not allowed a computer? Wait, yeah, there's a huge conspiracy around 432, actually, specifically. A lot of people say that's the person who's wandering the building, if you can find them. But, anyways. Let's, keep going with the base game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ooh, about that, narrator. I might not be entering the door on the left. Actually, let's enter the door on the left. I got you, narrator. This time I'm listening. Wink, wink.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, this opened. So this door is like, this is completely optional content. With a weird painting called Business Strategy of a poor little panda having like a little gun put up to its head. What? This is not like the fern. We don't want to study this. Bring back the fern. Less of that. But there's an elevator here. And I'm going to use the elevator. Just bring back the fern. Yeah, bring back the fern. Okay, we're in the elevator now. The best jam ever. Especially with the narrator. So you could stay in that elevator for as long as you want. You'll never change location. It's such a good little thing. There's videos on YouTube where you can listen to that for an hour, and it's just like that fun elevator music with the narrator of occasionally like making comments and stuff. Yeah. I highly recommend checking out those videos, because sometimes I just put them on and I just work. Okay.
Stepping into
Do you remember
his
the
manager's
password?
office,
It's 2845.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
So if you enter in the password too quick, you actually get this to happen with the narrator. So speedrunners have to be careful, because if they enter the code too quick, it's slower.
Into the opened passageway.
And I think that's so cool. Imagine speedrunning and like you have to pause there because otherwise you'll actually get in trouble. Bum ba ba dum bum 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 the bum bottom Stanley. Okay, so
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm gonna show you. I actually just changed my mind. I was gonna do the escape ending, but there's another really cool little thing here. So, in when this came out in about like 2014, the original version, there was a glitch that a lot of people found where they can get onto this chair, which got onto this table, and then eventually jumped out of bounds. And this game was so airtight that this was the only thing that people found as a way to break the game, and relentlessly like sent it to people of like, haha, you forgot this part, like, oh, we beat you to, like, we beat you at this game. So in the Ultra Deluxe, they've added a little thing.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome!
Yay!
You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content.
Guys,
you can call it the
new content.
bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you.
A secret.
That's how special you are. We
Just
call
for
this
me.
track, Good job, you've made it to the bottom of the mind control
It's
facility.
fantastic
Well
indeed.
done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
So, how would you rate that ending? Was it worth? Let's keep going. I think this game is so
All
smart.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, wait.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
So now we could do escape ending. The music has changed slightly, I think. So, like,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
give me a second to talk, narrator. Like fun values in Undertale, every time you start the Stanley Parable, there's a chance that there's something different.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So, like, every Stanley is slightly different.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Within reason. Most of them are actually, like, pretty much the exact same. But this wall text changes. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. But yeah. Every Stanley's different. Every Stanley's different.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
I love it. Even when the narrator's done with you, that makes me so happy. It makes me giggle. 'Cause, like, it's just like, okay, this guy again. You know?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope, we're going to escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I love getting stuck on random things.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I can't tell if the door's shut or not, so we're just gonna keep going. But take the narrator's word for it.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Let's go! The red pit. Let's go, red pit time! Uh-oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Uh-oh. They're gonna come for us. School.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Who are
In
you?
a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Well.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I think that's one of the most important lines in the Stanley Parable. The moment you start the game, Stanley is dead. Because everything in this game has been determined already. Every path you walk is just an ending that you'll get. There's no customization to make it truly yours. And it's something that makes me think of who are you when you play the Stanley Parable. Because in all the endings we've played so far, we're very clearly Stanley in some way, but also in a different way, we change how we see ourselves. Sometimes I'm directly Stanley. Sometimes Stanley is a puppet for me to experience the game in, and sometimes I am simply not Stanley. So this is like a little museum area where they show off like early versions of things. Things that were planned. There was an ending where you are supposed to end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. It was too jokey on the nose for the game, apparently. But yeah, it's so cool to me. A ding dunk subject gay. Are you gay? This is emails to the narrator. Dear narrator, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and a standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art. Invite you to see the prequel, sequel, standalone companion game. Will the Stanley Parable have endless quests? How many endings? If the Stanley Parable is going to let me go shopping, I hope it'll have a fine selection of dessert boots. questions. How do you make a JRPG? What's the worst game? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? How is the game going? I hope it is good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Like, I love how they, like, include so much from, like, fans as well. Oh, we don't need to know about that. Because that we haven't seen yet, technically. Zending. We haven't gotten to Zending yet. We're actually on our way to Zending. Freedom ending. Monitor room. And here's the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Like, she's talking about the on and off button, but in a way it feels like she's talking about narrator and Stanley as well.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Stanley and narrator?
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't...
I always forget how intense that moment feels of like, don't let time choose for you. We're going to let time choose for us because in a way we didn't. We let ourselves choose and we choose to let time choose for us. It just sounds like I got squished like a bug. And then the game is like this until you reset. I just got squashed like a little cock. Oh wait, never mind. They just reset it for you. So, if you've been paying attention, I've been hitting these computers that await input. We are about to fill in the final input here. This is another ending. Input resaved. I don't know why I said it like that. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. And it's just endless buttons to click. And like they rise back up, so it's truly endless, the buttons you can click. But yeah, welcome to heaven. It truly is heaven, honestly. I would love to have a room that is just like a whole bunch of buttons to click. Okay, but we're gonna begin the game again. Because the Zending is nice, but we don't need to Zend.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Again, random chance for different things to be different. That's not what the narrator usually says. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna do a certain ending that I also enjoy. And then I think we'll start to dive into the new content of this game.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Actually, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do one more thing.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper.
Something deeper?
Something darker.
Something darker. Okay. What is that something deeper, something darker? Narrator, you can't just leave us on the...
Yes. Really, really worth it being here in the room.
Okay.
A room so utterly captivating. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
There might actually be a couple of things we do.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
because I realize that this might be a really fun order to do this. So I will say, if you jump off this platform, you do die. Like, that's just a thing that happens. We're gonna step on the platform, though, and get back off.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
I don't know, narrator. I don't think I can make that.
Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
No. So yeah, our only option now is to jump off the ledge or reset the game. In this case, we'll jump. Whee!
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
How clumsy of me. That's how it be.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Again, new dialogue.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
He entered the door on his left. So, we're gonna go to the mind control facility.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Thank you, narrator. And like, I've been playing this game for nearly 2 hours. I have not... There's so many little ending or little things I could just do. For example, we can go back up. Okay, we have an option here, actually. Do we want to go turn on the mind control facility first? Or do we want to go back up first? And I know what happens for both of them. So feel free to choose, because I am happy with whatever order. But what... Too sleepy, no decisions? Understandable. Now I have to make a choice. Oh no. Let's go back up.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator.
You can't
and went
voice
back
decisions
up.
onto
Silly
me. Yeah.
Why did Stanley
Don't worry,
do
I
that
won't.
when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
He's a little pissed off at me. Okay, ready? There's actually nothing here for us. So maybe, maybe we should just go back down?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Wow.
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I love, like, he uses so many big words to make fun of us.
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I know, my mind is a scary one. Hey, you're never gonna believe what we're gonna do next.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
What if it's the boss's office? I'm scared to look. Guys. Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
I forgot about the fanfare.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
We've been on please hold. No. Oh my goodness. Guys.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Okay. My goodness. The fake out.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it.
You good?
I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Okay. Don't worry, we got this, narrator. We're gonna go down.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it?
I know.
I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
You'll never believe what we're about to do.
You know what?
What?
I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a minute.
Wait, what?
Don't
No.
you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so
He's punishing
precious,
us.
so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
He's punishing us.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started.
It's
But
so
where's the
slow.
tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who
There's a
took
sound
this
over
bold
there.
step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you.
They
Which is
do?
why,
Walk here.
though I didn't know when to spring
Watch
this on you,
out.
but, well,
Incoming
I've gathered a
photon
little
torpedo.
press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I
Hi,
thought it would
Cranberry.
especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you,
They
Stanley.
look up to me.
I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the
We're
kind
playing the
of
Stanley
gesture
Parable.
that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Guys, I'm going to be giving a speech.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
The guy who went to Mars, how he did the pyramids, the world's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed. All eyes on Stanley, live on stage. We're lots of background noise here at my house, so consider me looking. Happy to have you, Cranberry, in any capacity. An evening with world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Give me a sec, I'm reading. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable, tonight, live on stage. The Stanley Parable Stanley, tonight, live on stage. World's first sentient machine, a QAA with it. Awesome. I don't know, narrator, I'm kind of nervous. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. To stage.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart.
I don't know if I could do that.
I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you.
To stage.
Go get 'em.
Oh, the stage door open there. Stanley Ryder. Almond's chair, gum, table, nut bar. Welcome, Stanley. Aw. Oh, it has my employee number. Indoors monthly. The storyteller. This Stanley reveals all in his new book. 427. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from, your coworkers. Break a leg, champ, your boss. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are cool. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Stanley, me. I'm guessing Stanley, my dad, age 6. Story. So Stanley has a son here. Up again, down again. The Stanley story. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get 'em, Tiger. There's 2 things of Break Your Leg, champ. I love the way you ride elevators, XX. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the apartment ending. Oh no, not the apartment ending. That's an ending we haven't gotten yet. Okay, let's go on stage. I'm so ready to give my speech about riding the elevator up and down. Thank you. Thank you for all coming here. Okay, this is loud. Oh, and the ringing. Ooh. And then it's over. So glad
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
I'll sniff them out
Just
like a
a matter
donkey.
of time.
Okay. This
When
time for
Stanley
real.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
For
left.
real, we're gonna go and turn on the mind control facility.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And he's opening the door for me. How nice.
Here's the door, just go.
Yeah, I know. Yay! He's so nice. Okay. We're gonna go.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that
The
read
Mind Control Facility. Kabam! Kabam!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't know. Do I? So yeah.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Stanley's co-workers.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So like, sorry, I'm thinking here. Something I think about a lot is like when I first played this game, I didn't realize that people wouldn't view this game as a game. And it's something interesting to me.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
That's
Was this the only
dizzying. I
reason
should
he
not
was
do that.
happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
But it's weird because like, what do we consider a game? Like, at what point is a game and or not? You know?
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Maybe.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oops.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Uh-oh.
How long until detonation then?
Guys, I don't know what to do.
Say,
I don't know why it switched to muted there for a
this is
second.
making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star.
I'm the star.
It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a
Green
shame we
5.
have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each
Green
one
5,
of them
green 5.
is. More time to talk about you.
5.
About me. Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
No.
Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate
Oh,
to
it's
see
incorrect.
it
Okay,
go.
wait. That means there's a...
I'm sure whatever
there's a
I come
correct
up with
code.
on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock right now.
Oh no.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button.
Don't call me out.
Screen
3
to
attempts.
Screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button.
Uh-oh.
Or this door. Everything,
backup
anything,
power.
Something here will save me. Why would you
That would
think
be-
that, Stanley? That this video game can be
Wait,
beaten?
what?
One
Oh.
solved? Do you have any
I've never seen that
idea
door
what your
open.
purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
Purple 2,
to
purple
see
2.
you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
4.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you
Goodbye,
play
employee
desperately for your
427.
life,
Oh
or will
no,
you
that's
let
on
it go
every screen
peacefully?
now.
Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Uh-oh. Oopsie. Exploded. Yeah. There's no way to beat that ending.
All of his
You just
co-workers
go.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The vastly different
This
ways.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
The vastly different ways that the endings differ from one another in general is another reason why I love this game so much.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope, we're going straight ahead. So,
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So I'm going to talk a touch just before I go do this ending. There's 3 endings over here we haven't gotten yet. The first one I want to do is the red door ending. I will warn you, it is intense, but I love it because it shows even more the importance of like the relationship between narrator and Stanley.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Are you sure?
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yes.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The 2 of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Don't call me out.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
And both the doors you can go through.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Shapes and
Oh,
colors.
it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
It's so pretty. But what's over here? Content warning. This section
No,
contains pseudocidal
wait.
themes.
Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Up the stairs we go.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
I feel bad for him. So if we go back to the previous room.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Just stay here. The green is nice. The green is new. But
No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
But
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
this is the only way to progress, really. Other than resetting.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Yes. We do walk slower as well. Oh, it's red now. Like an orangey red. Oh, such pretty colors.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
But again, you could sit here a long time and nothing will happen.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Up we go again.
No. No, no. What are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Oops, I'm sorry. I cut him off.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
I feel bad for him because
Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
there we go. There's a second version of the happy room here where
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
I think this is such a pretty effect. And it's the one I remember the most from this ending. Again, we must go back.
No, perhaps not.
And our steps are slower. Now when he talks, I will freeze where I am.
My God, Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
No, you're not. But for Stanley, yeah. It's an intense little situation. But what happens if I go back now? I think there's a line where he talks about the player, or Stanley in this case, mocking him by going back. Is that a FNAF? I'm kidding. It was just like a little girl with a dog. The narrator doesn't say anything else. So now we have to take the slow trek back up. Because we do walk very slowly now. And it makes the choice here very deliberate. And I think that's very interesting, because you really have to commit to going up the stairs. And here we go.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
Again,
Well, this one is yours.
this is the only way that Stanley can make a choice.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
That's the worst part. It's like, this is the way they communicate with one another.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
They're like, their lives are connected in such a way. Up until this point, most of the endings that we've played, it's the narrator in control. But this is the first time you really start to see that it's not just the narrator who's in control. It's a desperate need for both of them. It's a fight. Just like what that lady said when we got the other ending there. And I think that's such an interesting way to look at it. And it's how I look at game design in general. Of, you have to be careful of who your player is. Because if your player doesn't want to progress the story, if your player wants to jump off a cliff 50 times, you have to be prepared for that. Anyways, time to jump.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
And I think that's very, very interesting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Skipping the new content door. So,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
maybe? I don't know.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
We're not taking the first open door on the left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So we're gonna actually
Look,
ride the
Stanley,
lift
I
all
think
the way
perhaps
to the
we've
top
gotten
now.
off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
That's
Please,
not good.
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
The only option, like, that looks available is to pick up the phone. I will warn you, this gets a little surreal. Right, like,
Stanley,
here.
Is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I like how he moves the mannequin out of the way. But there's a hallway.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
The narrator kind of has control over this one.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press any button on your control. Good morning, employee 427. Press any button on your controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Ow. Please press any button.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating
Our desk
lunch.
is back.
Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Please press any button.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Please press any button to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Excited him terribly.
I mean, I guess I get that, of like wanting to be able to escape a little as you're working and imagining like stories. But yeah. Please press any button to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Okay. Press any button to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he
More of
began
our
to fill it with
office.
many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Well, we can go home now. Please press any button to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Please press any button to tell your wife you love her. I love you, wife.
But there is
Oh,
no
she's gone.
answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Please press any button to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
We will try not to. Please press any button to be at work in the morning, it says. So we're going to try not pressing the button. And we're just going to stand here for a bit. It's awkward. I don't like listening to the clock go. Scar has trapped you.
Although I can't talk much tonight, know that I am still here silently supporting you.
Always happy to have you, Cranberry. Really. I did like a little heart hand and then I went, wait a second, I'm not observable. Thank you. I'm always happy to have you in any way. And I'm sorry that, Holly Star, that you got trapped by Scar there, your little kitty cat. Thank you so much, Cranberry. Means the world to me. Really does. I'm always happy to have you. Please press any button to be at work in the morning. Okay, nothing is gonna happen. Little kitty cat. Well, okay. This kind of seems really, really mean to say to a dog, but I look at my dog who's bigger than cat, and I go, "You're tiny. Do you know that? You're small." But then I always follow it up with but not insignificant. Because, usually when people think of the word small or tiny, they think of the word, insignificant, because, they just associate the two. But you're allowed to be small, but not insignificant. And I let her know, and her tail always goes, because she doesn't really understand. And she usually is laying down when I do that, so she kind of sticks one of her paw up, and she's like, give me belly rubs. So, okay, I'm going to press the button.
You see? Can he just not hear me?
And we're back in the office.
How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Please press any button to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
And it's over. Because we just die. That one's a weird one. I love it.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
I love the way they mess with you. And now, one last ending before new content. This one is another one of my favorites.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
The phone we tried to pick up.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic. Like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business,
That's a weird
Stanley
one.
took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So,
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've
that
gotten
room.
off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
I never forgot about
Please,
anyone.
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Okay. Now, you know how...
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
You know how, the phone exists? There's another thing we could do here.
That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
The paper rustling.
It's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oops.
I can't believe.
And
I
now
was
what
so
does that
mistaken.
mean?
This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
I love
but if
it.
used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example,
Choice.
in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here,
That's a
the
hard
real world
choice.
makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness, is it for...
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy
I'm so ready.
decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate
Uh-oh.
as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
This isn't good, eh? There's the railing. And I will say, from here on out, it's interesting how we get treated as a real person compared to being Stanley. For example, right here.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Again, I think that's so... Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. See, if the narrator wanted, he could open up this door and just let us go that way.
Almost there.
You guys
You'll
sit
take the
up.
door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
You can't lie in bed. Is it like a sleepy thing or just...
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The sign? I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. I went right. I wasn't even thinking. I was like, oh, right. Uh-oh.
No, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my
Grr.
work? I don't know.
Grr everywhere.
What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Grr everywhere. Ooh. There's no more grr.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever.
No more grr.
Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Trying to get away from
You just
that
had to
noise.
see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even
We have an
occurred
ad
to you, had
approaching.
it?
Watch
That
out.
there's a world outside of you. You're a child.
I am not a child. I'm actually an adult.
Story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
Hello?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I guess we have the chance to try again, eh? To left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
He blocked us from
Coming
going
to a
down.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we can only go up. Let's check out the bathroom. Can't do that. Can we go into the... Nope. Now here's what's interesting. The office wasn't green before. Yeah. So we're in a different version of the office. I'm also waiting until the ad break is over, which it just ended. Hi, welcome back. But yeah, the office was the same color as this before. So this is a different office. Somehow.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the
2845.
passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. However, this game is not able to pick up voice. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Night Shark
He spoke it
115.
into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Yep, nothing.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yes.
You didn't mishear me, did you?
No.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm sorry.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
So we now know what both do.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There he is.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The end.
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
Sorry, Leroy.
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
And I think that's fascinating. That in the end, both, like, Stanley would not make a choice at all.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
That's one
No
of my
matter
favorite
how hard
endings
Stanley
also.
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Now, I'm well aware that it's, like, I've been streaming for nearly 3 hours. That's why I'm like, do I do the new content? It's hard. There is one more small thing that we can do right here. There we go. We got out of bounds.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
It
Why
is.
don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are we sick of this gag? Never.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Cheers. And it is like, literally, you just could sit here. So let's begin the game again.
All of his co-workers were gone.
But let's see what he
could
says
it
if we
mean?
say
Stanley
yes.
decided to go to the meeting room.
'Cause I said no
Perhaps
there,
he had
right?
simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Okay. Okay. Like, I was gonna sit here and just let it go for a bit. This is endless, I'm pretty sure. Dum, dum, dum. We're done. Now. Speedrun.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
This is an
What if he had to
ending.
make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
I love it. 'Cause that's that ending. It's so good. So that's it for base game, more or less. There's like a little
All
like
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
there's a couple of things I didn't really do, I think. I'm trying to think of them. Sorry, I'm playing the Stanley Parable in my head. We did everything, I think, actually. Did we? Oh, there's one more thing we didn't really do, but I don't think it's something that we need to do right now. It's called the escape ending. No, it's not. It's called Escape Pod, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, new content?
Yeah.
What does that mean, new content?
New content. Let's do the new content stuff. So this is the stuff that was added through Ultra Deluxe. More or less all the stuff we played was original. Except the button, the elevator thing where we went up and down a few times.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
What?
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Let's go.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing
I should not do
adventure.
that. So, are we... Is there a button?
Is
Oh.
it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally,
That was
at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Let's go. This is a very empty room.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Press any button to jump. Jump? Only... I can't jump outside the circle. Can I jump? I can jump outside of the circle, but I can't jump when I'm not in the circle. I don't want to waste them all. Okay, we're gonna leave it at 25 because that's actually one of my favorite numbers. I don't like that. The 5 is slightly above the 2. Do you see it, or am I just imagining it? I'm just staring at it, sorry. It is? Okay, so we're gonna move on from that.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Surely, let's take the next elevator.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Aww.
It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes.
Wait.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay. Thank you for enjoying the new
That's
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard
Happy
to
Stanley
believe one of them
Day.
actually says, test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department
stuck?
signed off on this?
Okay, no,
I'm
I'm not.
infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
I'm wearing the sign.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
I'm
It
Lixer.
could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I always feel bad about interrupting the narrator, so I kind of don't speak over. Oh, it's different. Very normal about this game, including the hidden lore. Yeah. Hi, Elixir. This is one of the situations where I've played the Stanley Parable many times, to the point where you just missed it. I played, like, basically almost everything except, like, the escape pod ending. Just before this, because, like, I could, basically, and then I mentally played through the game just very quickly just to make sure I got, like, everything, because I did it in a really random order. Like, I did, unplugging the phone last. Yeah. Real. Thank you. I love being real. But if you want to ramble about the hidden lore, feel free to. This is like a spoiler okay zone, even for the Ultra Deluxe stuff. It's been a while since I've played the part 2 getting to the Ultra Deluxe.
Psst. Stanley!
Yeah.
Come over here. In the vent.
Stanley, you
I
need
want
to
to show
vent.
you something.
Employee 432 has insane lore. I know a bit about the 432 stuff. I was talking about it a bit earlier. Okay, here we go. We're in the vent. They're my fave. My favorite character is the Adventure Line.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
The contrast.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
I wish I had my jump circle here. I love it. It's so peaceful looking. Do you have a favorite? My leopard gecko
You
has
see,
been saying-
Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Leopard Gecko has been staring at the screen of my Switch while I was playing it. I think she likes it. Aw, have you been playing for today because it's 427 specifically? That's why I've been playing other games as of late, but I was like, no, Sunday, Stanley Parable, have to. Loved it for ages though. Yeah, same here. I was so excited when Ultra Deluxe came out. I remember like, oh my god, I was so excited for 427, and I was like, it's time. Smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. What's your favorite ending? Ooh, good question. I like different endings for different reasons. I like unplugging the phone because like it's the first time you start to think maybe I and Stanley are separate beings. And then like on top of that, I also like I like the Mariella ending. I like Red Door ending as well. I like Mariella ending because again, it's just like a real mind F situation. And then Red Door ending really demonstrates, because like a lot of the endings in the Stanley Parable mostly talk about the narrator having control over Stanley, but Red Door is like one of those few times where they expand on Stanley having control over the narrator as well. Like the Confusion ending is always a favorite as well, but like Red Door, Mariella, and Unplugging the Phone, I think, are my three favorites. Do you have any preferences? I'm excluding endings from the Ultra Deluxe for this, just because like I would need to re-see them all before like choosing. Nominee awards. New video game releasing today. Characters surprisingly down to earth. My favorite is Confusion. Least favorite is Skip Button. I adore the stuff that they've done here, including the Skip Button. In loving memory of little Stanley.
Je suis dans la mémoire zone, c'est sur la pluie des loups.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Elevator content. Skip Button's good. I just feel bad for the narrator. I understand that, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, because like what I mentioned with the Red Door ending, I like moments where we witness the narrator being affected by Stanley and like that sort of thing, and that it's stuff that will like, I don't know for sure if I'll get to it tonight. I might call it quits soon just because I've been streaming for 3 hours. We'll see how I'm feeling. But that complete isolation feeling that comes from skip button is something you don't feel as like often because of the narrator. So like, yeah. Memory zone maintenance. I care about it. I'm so normal. I actually am planning to eventually do a video essay on it. Also, I'm opposite of you. I don't really like Not Stanley or this ending. I totally get that. Yeah. I'm hoping to do a video essay on talking about specifically who are you when you play the Stanley Parable. Because I think that's interesting. The Stanley Parable. I hate Mondays. There they are! The two people! Be right back. Okay, be safe.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Very true. Well, like, I get it. I had a lot of fears. The serious room, that's something we can't do. I had a lot of, like, fears when the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe was going to come out. I was like, are they going to mess it up? Are they going to, like, fail to capture what the Stanley Parable felt like? Is it going to feel like a cash grab? And, no. Basically, it doesn't.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
It's this noisy drink machine. Like, the texture just looks very noisy. Like someone applied noise to it.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I have bad news, narrator.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
Unfunny?
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
There's a good one over here, but it's blurry. I love the setting and like how it's like, oh goodness, it's Steam, watch out. Unfunny.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
Back, but I actually gotta go, sorry.
It
It was nice to see you, Blixer. I hope you have a good one.
Well,
Thank you for joining today. And happy Stanley Parable Day.
Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
I feel bad speaking over the narrator.
I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I think the narrator's preachy, but I think it's a good quality about the narrator. I enjoy it. You're allowed to be preachy. I'm here to sit through it and enjoy it.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
A skip button?
A skip button?
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
I don't think that's a good idea, bud. There's a gap here. It's so weird, because, like, we're technically in water, but we're also not. And then what's holding this board up? Ooh. Oh. The outside world has faded away.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up.
I'm gonna pause him right there, because he will just keep rambling, and I want to say something. I forgot that the skip button was this close.
Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. Can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what happened.
I wonder if I believe his name is Kevin Brighting. I wonder if he got to do this and, like, write some of these himself.
And therefore, by becoming it is.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
Can't unlock that door.
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could
dodge
in fact
the
be both
tomatoes.
of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it.
I don't
But
know what
wouldn't
a
you say that
treatise vibe is.
manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto.
I didn't say
Heavens,
anything.
at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. That's kind of really fun, though. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. So
Manifesto.
it's 1:16 on that clock.
Manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you?
It
But
was
that's
like
the
10
power
minutes.
Of the button.
Okay.
The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
What happened? Did the narrator reach their own broom closet ending? Okay, we're gonna hit the skip button, because I feel like he's supposed to still be talking, but...
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been
Oh,
skipping through
that
is
was like
becoming
50
longer
minutes.
and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45
the
minutes.
door's gone.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out
I
of
smell
here?
popcorn. Someone in my house made popcorn.
Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Oh.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take
A
any
fan?
of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not
press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
We can be patient, right? We can be patient. I wish he gave us something to do. Yeah, I love the Stanley Parable. I think someone made popcorn in my household. Cause like, I smell popcorn, and I'm curious if it's my older brother. And the reason why I am is because, you know, like the cheese that they serve. This is all related. You know the cheese they serve at like movie theaters and stuff for nachos? I usually buy those and eat popcorn with it. I can't explain why, other than like cheese plus popcorn flavor equal yummy. Yeah. So sometimes we used to go and buy like the 4-packs of the nacho cheese movie theater nacho cheeses at there's only like one place nearby that sells it, but they stopped selling it a while ago, which sucks. But I have a friend who lives a few cities over, and we meet up every like 3 or 4 months maybe, and they realized that their local place sold the movie theater cheese, and so they bought the movie theater cheese for me and was like, haha, here you go. And I haven't had a single one of them yet. It comes in packs of 4, but there's only one left, and I haven't gotten to have one yet because I just haven't craved popcorn. So I'm worried that I won't be able to have any of the nacho cheese things that were gifted to me from a friend. Okay, I think we've waited long enough. Sorry, narrator, we love you. It is 2:25.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Oh!
You've just been frozen there.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out
I'm gonna
of the
take a
room.
sip of water while he talks.
Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time,
back from
knowing
drinking
that you're
water.
going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I have
just
the power to
talking.
prevent it all from happening.
feel bad for
if
him.
only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision
Just-
as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone.
Sir,
Surely you
I haven't
will.
pressed it
I
yet.
don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely
Sir.
you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Oh, it looped.
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback.
Hi,
Why was it so
XO.
important for me to fix the problem? Why did
Not
Cookie
this
Nine's
ending.
opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections.
What, do you
and I
not like
become
this
as
ending?
Vigilant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one
Okay,
person
we're gonna-
who made a single negative comment.
We're gonna press it.
What does such an impulse? Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh,
Hi.
my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
This plant is
2
dying.
weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button.
Yeah.
That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley,
I get
maybe
that.
if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real.
Yeah,
Maybe
it makes sense.
I'm not just a fiction.
It makes
Was I
sense.
scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes.
I relate to that.
Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you
I get
now,
that.
I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you?
I
You
do.
can see what this means.
I
to me.
do.
I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
How did that feel? Sorry. I didn't know. I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to sit in silence for too long. Yeah, no. It makes sense. And it's hard because I can relate to that of like, if someone can hear me, that's when I'm real. It's something very relatable of like, the confirmation of self also begins with other. As soon as you establish self, it's also establishing an other. It's determining what parts are you and what parts aren't you. And as soon as you start to lose that, that's scary too. What a lot of what the narrator is saying is really relatable, and I don't want to do this to him. I don't, but I have to continue the narrative. I love this story. I love talking about this because, like, the narrator needs the Stanley as much as Stanley needs the narrator, and it's not an often acknowledged thing in this game, especially with the original endings. And that's why I like well, the Zending or Red Door ending. It's because we acknowledge that it's not completely the narrator doesn't, like, narrator just toys with Stanley. Narrator needs Stanley to feel real. Anyways.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events.
I wonder
not
if I can
all
navigate
events
this with one hand.
existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Is that it? Well, like, I get it. The narrator deserves to feel such a way, I think. But time moves on. That clock has stopped moving. The plants are dead. The narrator is silent. And we hit the skip button. We are accompanied by the smoke alarm. I will stand over here for a moment. Because this is the quietest area away from the smoke alarm. Okay, I think the button's raised. We can press it.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters.
The ads are coming for you.
And my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human
maybe
condition.
The ad is your own skip button.
Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It was...
No, I remember that bit because just like, entertain us. And I listened to this a few times over. I think it's a really important piece to think about. I was like, yeah. But like at the same time, the narrator, it's hard to understand. Anyways, it's ad time. This is like your skip button. I'm going to hit the skip button.
They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs.
It's quiet again. Water noise. Water noise in this corner.
The end, is never 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 the end.
More drip noises.
Never the end, is 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 never the end.
Okay, we're gonna listen to this for the whole ad break. You
You
get punished for being able to watch this during ad time.
Never the end is never the end is
Never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end. Welcome back. Yeah. Sorry about that, Holy Star Suffer. I hope you're enjoying your first experience with the Stanley Parable. It's a game I hold dear to my heart, and Stanley and the narrator both are characters suffering from ad freedom. Yeah, maybe I should start to do that. Of just like doing the weirdest stuff when ads are on, so that the people who don't watch ads just have this random like thing that happens, and then just like everyone comes back who doesn't have like freedom from not the tomatoes, but the people who don't have freedom from ads come back, and the people who are here when the ads are on are just like, what just happened? What the fuck? And it just leaves like a blotch of confusion. Anyways, skip button. Uh-oh. Well, glad that didn't kill me. The clock is here. This is what I'll use my 13K channel points for. Awesome. Tomato. I should probably put in more redeems. If you have ideas, feel free to send them my way. It's sunny out. You should do one that lets me run ads, me specifically. Sure. I don't know how to do that, but I could try to figure it out. That'd be kind of funny. I'll make it like 100K. I know Doug specifically did something like that, where like chat could pay to run ads or something. Yay! It's been such a long time. I miss the narrator. Yes, a few streamers I watch have run ads as a redemption. I wonder why. Like, in a good way, of like, I'm curious about... The plants are gone. One has a 5-minute one, I think. Wow. I'm scared by these noises. Let me skip already. Uh-oh. The skip button. It's dead! It tends to bring out the primes and gifters. Huh. Oh, I could go this way. Huh. Everything is gone. So welcome to the first Ultra Deluxe ending. I guess that makes sense of like, oh, someone redeems an ad and then everyone else is stuck in 5 minutes, so other people want to treat people to being able to watch and stuff. That's just kind of a weird way to think about it too, though. It makes sense, but the sun. Oh. Anyways. So.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, there's a new sign here that says new content. 500k, I think. Okay, that makes sense. We are... I think I can't continue on. I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. And it's been a lot of fun playing the Stanley Parable. But I think I need to quit it for tonight. It's been so much fun. I love this game. I don't know when I'd stream it again. I could, like, would you want to see more of it? I'd be happy to do more of it and showing off the new content part of the Stanley Parable, because I think this game is an excellent thought, like just a thing to think about. I know I have to finish some other games soon too, but yeah, I love this game. Like, I the way you have to think in this game. Happy to, my schedule's busy next few weekends though. No worries. Just like in general, I'm just like, I recently have been playing games that I've played before, and that's, I guess, my worry of like, I'm technically not giving new reactions, except to Chicory, because apparently I forgot a lot of that. But yeah, just like worried in that way. But I also want to share this game because it's important to me, and it's really nice to be able to revisit it. Yeah. Either way, this is where we're stopping today. So, we're actually going to say bye-bye to the VODs now. If you want to say, oops, why am I muted again? That's so weird. My muted icon has been going off for no reason. Like, I don't understand why it's been doing that. But anyways, now it's time to say bye-bye to the VOD. Yeah, it keeps saying I'm silenced. That's the weird part. But bye-bye to the VODs is what we're doing right now. So bye-bye VODs. Have a good one, VODs. Be safe, VODs. Or don't. That's up to you. Okay. Bye-bye VODs. See ya. And I'm cutting you off.